Hi friends, welcome to my Cozy Crafty Cabin. My name is Rayanne. Today is day 7 of my 12 Days of Christmas in July crafty series, and I'll be sharing 7 different ways you can cover or make holders for sticky notes. So I'm using these sticky notes I purchased from Dollar Tree, but I've had these forever, so they might be different from the ones they sell now. I'm not sure, but I'm so happy with how all of my covers and holders turned out. They are all super easy to make. Some of the styles have like a refillable pocket, some are just glued down to the paper. I'll walk you through how to make each of the 7 different styles and give you all the measurements you need. All of them come together super quick and I think make great little gifts for like coworkers, teachers, friends, neighbors, like anyone really. So stick around and let's get crafty. So here's the materials I used. I used these sticky notes that I purchased from Dollar Tree, but like I said, I've had this little like stockpile in my stash for quite some time, so I'm not positive if Dollar Tree has like changed these up or not in recent years. When I got them, they came in a 5-pack. There's 40 sheets per sticky note. They measure 3 by 3 inches, and they're about 3/16 of an inch thick. So just double check the measurements on whatever sticky notes you're using and, adjust accordingly. But to make my covers, I use papers from this Winnie the Pooh Christmas 6x6 paper pad, and also this Hello Christmas 12x12 collection kit by Cartabella, and both were purchased from Echo Park's website. Okay, so starting with the first sticky note cover, this is the most basic of the 7 styles. We're simply cutting a paper down to size to cover the sticky note like a book cover and gluing the sticky note inside. So you will need a piece of paper that measures 3 1/8 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide, and then you will score on the 6.5 inch side at 3 1/8 and 3 3/8 inches, and that'll make a 1/4 inch spine. So I then just take a 3 by 3 cut apart to embellish the front cover, and that is all, you guys. If you have double-sided paper, I think this project is great for that, and basically you just let the paper do all the work for you. Okay, so for the second style, we're simply just taking that first style a little bit further, and we're adding a refillable pocket to it. And this time I made it a top folding cover rather than a side folding cover like the first one. So you will need a piece of paper that measures 3 1/8 inches wide by 8 3/4 inches tall. And I think double-sided paper works best if you have it. Then on the 8 3/4 inch side, you will score at 2 1/4, 5 3/8, and 5 5/8. So that first score line at 2 1/4, that will become our pocket. And then that 5 3/8 and 5 5/8 score lines, those make our 1/4 inch spine that's going to be at the top. So a 3 by 3 cut apart makes a perfect embellishment for the covers again. This collection actually didn't have any 3 by 3 cut aparts, so I just trimmed down one of the 4 by 4 cut aparts to make my cover. I decided to run the corners for this one too, but that's totally optional. After I glue down the cover, and then I make the pocket, and this time I just use some washi to tape down the left and right edges of our pocket, so that it's going to be like 2 1/4 inches tall. And then you're done. Now you have a cute and simple sticky note cover with a refillable pocket. Okay, this third style is another really simple cover, but you're going to use 2 pieces of paper to make like your covers instead of 1. And then you can actually use 6x6 paper pads for these. You don't need any like larger size paper than that. So this is great for your 6x6 paper pads. So you'll need 1 piece of paper that measures 3x3. This is going to be your front cover. And then you'll need 1 piece of paper that measures 3x4. And on the 4-inch side, you're going to score at 3 and 3 1/4 inches. So this piece will get glued down to the back of the sticky notes, and then it'll fold over the top spine. You'll have that 1/4 inch spine, and then it'll cover about like 3/4 inches of your front cover. It'll fold over on top. So I use this method as well to cover a notepad in my day 6 of my series, where I did 6 different notepads. And I actually use the exact same paper, so you can make like a matching set where you have like a notepad and a sticky notes, and I think that would be so cute. And I love this pattern too, so I don't even embellish the cover because I just want to see this cute paper. So I just add adhesive to the back of the sticky notes, I line it up with the back cover, and I get it glued down. And then I line up my front cover, and then I add adhesive to that top flap or panel of the back cover that's going to get glued down to the front cover. And once I add my adhesive, I gently just fold it over and I get it glued down to the front cover. And that's all for this one, guys. Super simple. So this fourth style is going to be kind of like a wallet style cover, like a trifold cover. You will need a piece of paper, and I recommend using double-sided paper again, but a piece of paper that measures 3 inches tall by 9 5/8 inches wide, and you're going to score on the 9 5/8 inch side at 3, 3 1/4, 6 3/8, 6 5/8, and 8 5/8 inches. And you'll end up kind of like 3 sections or panels basically, with like our sticky notes getting glued down to that middle section. And then you'll have a 1/4 inch spine on the left and right side of your sticky notes. So just to do something a little different with this last score line that we made at the 8 5/8 inches, I folded over so that you have a cute cover where you get to see like both sides of the pattern paper, and I just glue that panel like down to the paper itself. I hope that makes sense. After I glue down my sticky notes to the inside of the cover, I then embellish the front of the cover with a 2x2 cut apart from the collection, and then I also add a Velcro dot, so like add a closure, and I ended up cutting one of my Velcro dots in half since like a whole one would have been too big for the space. And then I had meant to round the corners of my little 2x2 cut apart, but I forgot and I wasn't able to do it after I had already added the foam tape to the back, but that's okay. Okay, so I am super happy with this next idea. This is going to be a magnetic like pocket, so perfect for your fridge and jotting down like quick notes or reminders. And I made it with a refillable pocket, so you can reuse this over and over again. So for this style, you will need a piece of paper that measures 7.5 inches tall by 3 1/4 inches wide. and I ended up just using some like craft cardstock for this base, but you can still use pattern paper if you like. You're gonna score on the 7.5-inch side at 2 1/4 inches, and that's gonna make our pocket. So after you fold on the score line to make the pocket, you'll just need a piece of paper that measures 2 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. And I'm simply just going to wrap this around like the pocket flap and glue the ends to the back of our base that are going to fold over. Now I made these measurements to fit a 3x2 cut apart at the top of these sticky note holders. So I'm using this cute cut apart from the Winnie the Pooh collection. That's 2x3. These magnets are just free magnets I have in my stash. I have a stockpile of them, but they're just really super thin magnets, so they're not very strong. So that's why I'm like basically covering the entire back with the magnets so that, you know, I don't risk this holder like sliding or not sticking. But yeah, I think these are basically just magnetic like sticker sheets. They're super thin. I know you can purchase like magnetic sticker sheets from like Walmart and craft stores, but my tip is just to keep an eye out in your like junk mail, because sometimes companies send you like info on a magnet and you can absolutely use them for projects. So for the sixth style, I'll be making a matchbook style sticky note cover, and I've updated how I do this so that the staples get hidden or covered by our paper. I can't believe I didn't think of like this before, but I think these turned out really nice. So all you need is a piece of paper that measures 3 1/8 inches wide by 11 inches tall. And on the 11-inch side, you're going to score at 3 3/4, 4, and that's going to give us that 1/4-inch spine that's going to be on the top of our matchbook. So 3 3/4 and 4, then 8 1/8, 9 1/8, and 10 1/8 inches. So for those last couple score lines, we're going to like fold our paper back, and this is how we'll end up covering our staples. So I first round the corners of what will be the front cover of the matchbook, like the bottom corners, and then I glue down the sticky notes to the inside. And just be sure you center it like right between that top score line and then the top of that bottom flap that's going to fold up and be the bottom of our matchbook. So once your sticky notes are glued down, I then make my staples at the bottom of the matchbook. So I just do 2 staples, you know, one on the far right, one on the far left. And then you can add adhesive to those like last 2 panel areas where we made our score lines. And you're going to fold those back over and glue them to the paper. And this is how like we hide our staples that we made. I hope that makes sense. And then I just decided to add a couple stickers from the collection to embellish the covers. But I actually really like it just plain and simple and like with just the paper and no other embellishments. Okay, for the last style, we'll be making an easel holder, which I'm just obsessed with. And I think this is so cute to just like display at your desk. I have to shout out Carrie Crafts again because she's the one who brought to my attention on how to make just an easel style card, where she made a simple easel style card using a 4x4 cut apart. But ever since I watched her video, I don't know, it just like sparked something inside of me. And I just wanted to apply like that easel method to making just a bunch of things. So I've made like different size cards, and then I started adding like a pocket. So I made like an easel style gift card holder. And now I wanted to share this idea of making an easel style sticky note holder. So what you need to make the base of the easel is a piece of paper that measures 3 1/4 inches wide by 11 inches tall, and you will score on the 11-inch side at 2, 5 1/4, 8 1/2, 9 1/2, and 10 1/2. And then I use a 3x3 cut apart to just add a simple embellishment to the front of the easel. And last, you need a piece of paper that measures 1 3/4 by 4 1/4 inches to make our pockets. So this will get folded over that like 2-inch tall panel, and we'll glue the ends to the back to make our pocket. So just pay attention to how I fold on all the score lines so that you like get your easel shape and get it assembled. That last 1/2 inch tab or panel is where we will add adhesive, and it'll get glued to the back side of the other side of our easel, so like the pocket side of our easel. And I first start by gluing the 3x3 cut apart to the front of the easel, and then I glue the easel together by adding adhesive to that 1/2 inch panel and gluing both ends of the easel together. And then next I take that pocket piece of paper that 1 3/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece paper, and I kind of center it, you know, on that pocket panel, fold it over the edges of the easel, and then I add adhesive to those left and right ends that fold over and glue it to the back of our easel to form the pocket. And now you can add your sticky notes. So it's that easy, you guys. So easy. So here is a close-up of all the different sticky note covers I made in all the different styles. I would love to know which ones are your favorites and if you'll be making any of these. Also, I would love to know if any of these styles or methods are like bringing new ideas for you, or if, like, have you seen all these done before already? I was hoping to come up with like some new fresh ideas, so I hope at least a couple of these are new to you. I think these would make great gifts for like coworkers, teachers, friends, anyone really. I absolutely love how they all turned out and how easy they were to make. I think they would be great to sell at craft fairs as well if you participate in any like craft fairs or markets. So kind of an unrelated note, but I've been thinking about starting a snail mail club. I really love the idea, and I've recently subscribed to a couple of snail mail clubs so I can get like a better idea of how they work. But I'm curious to know if anyone subscribes to any snail mail clubs, and if so, which ones do you subscribe to if you're willing to share? But yeah, I just love the idea. Thank you all again for all the love and support you've sent my way to my channel. I've had so much fun crafting for this 12 Days of Christmas in July series. I hope you've been enjoying the series as well and I've gotten some crafty inspiration. I will have my playlist for this series linked in my description box as always, in case you missed any of my other videos in the series so far. But yeah, next will be day 8, so I hope to have 8 new ideas to share with you all. But until then, stay cozy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.